Hello everybody, welcome back to the series. It's been a long wait, I know. Today, we're moving on to our first question on libertarianism. Today we're looking at question 11, which is, it isn't just for the government to require people to wear seatbelts and to prevent them from engaging in other self-endangering activities. What if you know that many more people would die without such legislation? Should people be free to hurt or kill themselves, provided their actions do not violate anyone else's rights? I believe that question 12, should the government legalize narcotics? After all, some adults want to use drugs privately. And question 13, should the government legalize prostitution? After all, some adults want to buy and sell sex, are in the same context, so I will answer them. Gathering these questions, the real question becomes, can the government limit my choices, even when the choices only harm me and not others? Let's try to answer this question in a libertarian way. Libertarians will support the idea of hurting or killing themselves, at least when the people want that. They will support the legislation to not exist. They believe that people have a fundamental right to liberty. They own themselves, hence they should do what they want. They believe that people should be able to take risks, even if that means harming themselves. It's a really intuitive line of logic, and it's included in a work of the famous libertarian, Robert Nozick. Now, I'll give my opinion. I have to support disallowing self-hurt for some reasons. First of all, on a libertarian point of view. For a libertarian, they do not know the future, and they do not know the consequences of the actions. And they don't know that wearing a seatbelt can kill me. And even if I know, I never took the time to think about the consequences in a serious manner. Where emotionally, I can be swayed to avoid the rational choice, putting myself in my harm's way. This is important to my case, because that means that it goes against the liberty of the people that is driving. As the person driving would regret that choice in the future, I am taking away the ability to make a choice to exercise my liberty because I am myopic. Weigh that liberty against the liberty to not have a slight discomfort from seatbelts. The liberty of not getting severely hurt is a way higher quality, because an injury means that a person has to suffer higher consequences, such as physical pain, limitation of movements, medical costs, and so on. A possible rebuttal could be, how would the government know what is correct to choice then? We should note here that the government adheres to the voices of the people, gets advice from experts, because they want votes. They provide a good enough standard. So why are they good enough? Because to trade some people that would never wear a seatbelt off, they wouldn't because their neck will get scratchy, we save a lot of others that will get their long-term liberty harmed. The second reason why I believe that laws should exist that prevent self-harm is that I am often coerced to engage in actions that harm myself. When narcotics become illegal, it becomes a norm to some people that taking drugs is a cool action because the defiance of social expectation is intuitively cool to young adults. This puts a social expectation on people to take narcotics, and if not, coerced to feel like an uncool person. Therefore, harms of drugs such as anxiety and a shorter lifespan is given to people. This point is important to my case because it goes against another belief of the libertarian thought, the belief that I can exercise my rights only until it harms others. When people are socially coerced to, they are being harmed. Again, ardent libertarians can rebut this by saying, stop being a crybaby, no one is forcing you. But I don't believe that that's true. Social expectation and images matter a lot to some people. For example, insecure people may think about it a lot. Or people from minority groups that are forced to join in with the majorities. People are being forced, and legislation is not the only factor. You, the person that rebuts, may be a very strong person that doesn't care about social reputation, but that standard should not be forced onto others. To add to that, even if the person is not required to accept the offer, often they are swayed to, making an irrational choice to take drugs. Libertarians shall not blame this person, since even though the person may have been irrational, it was not their free will, and others have given them a reason to. Lastly, even if the person declines the tempting offer of narcotics by peer pressure, now they will be treated as people who don't know how to fit in. This is actively limiting the liberty of people to look like an outgoing cool person for an unjustifiable means. Now, I also believe in the reasoning such as the Kantian idea, the idea that people should be treated as ends, not means of pleasures, and people have human dignity, so self-harming actions must be banned. I also believe in the Lockean idea, people have unalienable rights that even they cannot surrender, or the Millian idea, or utilitarian idea, the fact that people die means a lot of pain is caused, and the economy is falling down, hence those situations should be avoided. These are all fair, but I think that this has limitations to rebut to an ardent libertarian, since they will not even try to agree with the premise of these three ideas. The first two reasoning that I gave, I think really rebuts them with their own logic, and really shows why it's not that good of an argument. Really, my biggest criticism to libertarian goes something like this. We should notice that most, if not all, other theories favor and highly value rights. The Millian philosophy, rights are a deciding factor of human happiness and allows for the cultivation of human character. In Lockean philosophy, people have unalienable rights of property that governments are obliged to keep. Or the Kantian philosophy, that people should be treated as ends, not means, and keeping rights as human dignity is often important here. Or the Rawlsian philosophy, equal liberties is what people would decide under a veil of ignorance at original positions, hence must be rooted in social institutions. Libertarians take a further step, trying to put nothing else in the equation of when making choices. They don't care about morality, they don't care about common good, they don't care about happiness, they don't care about dignity, they don't care about correct politics. And I really don't want to generalize, but there's a tendency where people who ignore other values and support libertarianism really contradict themselves. A lot of them are ardent protectors of freedom of speech, and many simply say, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will not. If you hear offensive things online and feel bad, you're feeling butthurt. So, we can see that even though they say, oh, we should keep rights to the point that doesn't harm others, they normally keep it even when it harms others. So the next time you think about a moral question, or involved in a discussion on global issues, ask yourself, am I really a libertarian? Aren't my goals to chase happiness or just trying to live a good life, just using liberty and rights as one of the tools, as one of the factors that I'm deciding with? Thank you, and see you in the next entry.